Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is David. On this episode, we are going to install the Red Tiger dash cam model F7NP, and we're going to do the front dash cam and the rear dash cam as well. Well, I guess it's not a dash cam on the rear, so stay tuned. Okay, so we're outside in our driveway. We're getting prepared for all of our summer travels, and one of the things that I have been seeing on some of the other YouTube channels is that they use a dash cam. And I know that some of the channels that I actually follow, that dash cam paid off because of an accident. They were able to record it. So like I said, we got the Red Tiger F7NP dash cam. And make sure you stay to the end because I may have a code for you. We also got hardwire cable. So this will allow me to hardwire the camera into place so that even when the engine's off, it will still record. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the contents of the box. And here we go. So this is, it's like your installation instructions. And I've already kind of flipped through this stuff. I would highly recommend getting online and reading through the documentation. It also comes with some adhesives, or some, I wouldn't say adhesives, but these are like plastic film that you put on your windshield so that your suction cup from the mount here has something better to stick to. So we'll be installing that as well. And of course it comes with the camera unit, the base with the suction cup, and then here is the rear camera along with a cigarette plug adapter. And we may hook that up first just to test the camera out, make sure everything's working. I'm sorry, this is the rear camera. So this goes into the back of the truck. Here is the cigarette lighter that is used if you just want to only have the camera running while you're running the vehicle. We'll probably just do this for testing, make sure everything's functional, and then we'll hardwire it in. It also comes with a little tool to work with all your interior headliner and things that you might have to kind of help pry around. And that's all that's in that box. And again, here is the cable for hardwire kit. And again, the instructions for this were extremely small. And this has the power plug that goes into the camera, the front camera, the dash cam. And then it has these two blades that go into your fuse box. The yellow one is for your battery. So this is what's going to run all the time on battery power, and I'll show you how to determine what that is. And the red one goes to accessories, so when you are starting the vehicle and running it, it gets its power from your accessory. So we're going to get started. And we also got a lens cap for the front mount camera, and this lens cap is basically a filter to knock down glare and to improve the visual quality of what you're seeing. So let's get to it. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is get our window clean. I don't really know if it matters which side to put the camera on, but I think I'm going to install it on the driver's side on there. So we're going to clean that off. Alright, and then we'll follow that up. 99% rubbing alcohol for technical use. So we're going to kind of clean that area, make sure it's good and clean. Okay, so the base unit has a unlock position and a lock position. And of course, when you mount this on the windshield, you have to peel this off, of course, and put it in the windshield and lock it in place, and that will create the vacuum. As far as mounting the camera, what you do, there's only one way that it can go on, so it's really kind of almost impossible to screw up. But it looks like it's going to go on just like this. And that is it. Okay, so now with the camera mounted and the base in an unlocked position, I'm thinking about right here is about where I'm going to want it. I need to make sure it's not going to interfere with my rear view camera. Maybe here. But then I have to run the wiring up and over all of that. Well, this could be some work in progress, but I'm going to start right here, run my wiring over or up this way, and then down the driver's side of the windshield. Okay, so we're just going to mount it here for the moment. And it's unlocked, and it's locked in position. Oh, that actually is pretty solid. All right. And looks like let's tighten it. All right. Let's put some temporary power to it, make sure it's working. All right, power. Power is on the top, and it's most likely gonna go like this. Okay. Man, that thing locks really well. I'm really pleased with that. All right, let's get some power to it. Make sure it comes on. I see a light. Oh, I see it booting up. All right, so this comes in two models, one with a memory card, one without. I did choose the one with it. So it's wanting to reformat it. Let's see, there we go. All data will be deleted. Well, there's nothing on it yet. Okay, there we go. It has been reformatted and it is recording. Or so it says. Let's, oh, well, it looked pretty blurry, didn't it? That's the reason why. All right, now let's put the sucker back in place again. This is like the third time. All right, there we go. And I guess there's no lateral movement on this. It only has adjustments for up and down. So if you need to adjust this left and right, it looks like you're going to have to just leave it as is or move it to the other side. I think I'm going to want this from a driver's point of view. All right, next we are going to test the rear camera. So it has like a little plug right here that goes into the top of the dashboard camera. So let's get all this cabling undone. And it goes right there. There we go. And okay, now that we've hooked the camera up, I can see the rear camera. It has like an inset into the main camera here. Okay, I may have a slight change of plans as I'm trying to figure out how exactly I want to mount this and run my wiring. I think I'm going to try to set it up in front of this here, which is part of the back of the mirror. I don't think there's any electronics in front of that. I don't think this has any sensors on this truck. Something I guess we have to think about. Man, that thing does stick really well. I need to check. Yeah, I checked. I didn't see any like sensors on here. If there are, they're up above here, but this one doesn't have any like auto dimming, you know, features for this model truck. So I think, and of course this is not permanent, we can always move it. I think I'll clean this piece of glass right here and mount that right there. I think that will give us both, Tina and I, both a good view, and it's centered to the vehicle, and the wiring can just kind of come up and either over this way from my if I run it on my side, or here if I run it down the passenger side, which is typically what they're showing for the hardwire to run down this side. But the fuse box is over here. So I'm thinking I'm gonna run it up and over and down under the firewall and out into the fuse box. All right, let's do that. As a planning note, make sure you check the fuse size here, because what I found out is this size here for my truck, for the Ram, won't plug into the fuse box. So I'm gonna have to get a fuse and an adapter that I think they're called micro fuses. But what I did is, for right now, I went ahead and just wired everything up to the cigarette lighter connector. And surprisingly, even with the truck off, I have power. So I don't know if the Rams have that. Okay, so I have one of these like multi-function or multi outputs for a cigarette lighter, and this just plugs into my rear cigarette lighter in the rear seat, which we don't use until now. So I don't know if that one always stays active. I have to check the front one to see, but anyway, this is what I've got plugged in, and as you can see, it has power, and there is nothing in the truck. It's not turned on. So if somebody knows about that, do me a favor, shoot me a quick comment. Let me know that, yeah, the rear cigarette lighter, that they stay powered up even when the truck is off. All right, we'll have to hardwire this back in later. So I'm gonna move forward now with the rear camera. Had a little couple monsters want to come out and try to help. You guys will be a huge asset, I'm sure. Annie's over there throwing a fit. So I let them out for a bit. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the rear camera and we're gonna find a place to mount it on the rear of the bumper. And you can, right here we go, there we go. This is plastic. And so you can drill a little hole here and mount it. So we're gonna find the right spot of where to put this, get it cleaned up with a little bit of rubbing alcohol, and get that mounted. But before we do, we're going to check the length of the cable, make sure that we can run it. And the intent, what we're going to do is we're going to run, let me crawl into here for a little bit. We're going to run this on, or using the factory cable, and we're going to trace it all the way up to the front of the cab, the firewall, and see where we can run the other end into the cab of the truck in order to plug it into the camera. So first thing we gotta do before we drill a hole is make sure that it's going to reach. All right, so this would plug in right here, and it's gonna run up. I'm gonna follow the same headliner location and find a place under here to run it through the firewall, get it plugged in. Okay, I'm gonna give you a quick recap where we are. So the cable to the rear camera was not long enough, and I don't know that it might have fit, but just by kind of pacing it off, stringing it across the floorboard of the vehicle, it was not clearly going to reach with enough comfort to go through all the effort. So I'm going to look in to see if I can get an extension cable. Also, like I mentioned earlier, you're going to need the little mini plugs for your fuse box, or at least check to make sure, because these plugs that come with the hardwire are wider than the connectors that I have in the Ram fuse box. So what I did temporarily, at least, I have mounted the camera right there. And of course, if you have a rear sliding window, make sure that you're on the correct side so you don't knock the camera off. So we're going to adjust that up and down to see what it looks like, because right now, as you can see, it looks like it's a little high. So let's go do that. So let's see what we got. Okay, as you can see, maybe I can see the bed of the truck. Of course, that's really not going to be good enough for picking up like a license plate or anything on the front of a vehicle. Maybe if I tilt it up a little bit more, it might help. Let's try that. We tilted that up just a little bit more. And okay, so I'm just barely now seeing the bed of the truck. So what we'll do is we will take a ride, get some recordings. A follow-up video will probably be coming, and that would be to hardwire this in place. And if I can get an extension cable for the rear camera, because right now I've just got it running up through the headliner, across there, through the back seat. And matter of fact, you might be able to see the yellow connector right there, and then it just comes right down over there, and just looking at the window, which I guess is fine. I mean, that's what this one's doing. I'll double check. Well, we have it installed. Again, we're running off the 12-volt adapter, and we have the camera mounted, the rear camera mounted up on the glass rear window. I think it's adjusted enough. We're gonna take a quick ride and get the recordings, and we'll put it up on the screen and see how it does. We took the truck for a short drive and verified that it was recording, logging our speeds and the GPS location. For the rear camera, there is an extension cable, but the cable length, in addition to the cable that's already on the camera, would be way too long. So I think what we're going to do is simply keep the rear camera inside the cab of the truck. This keeps it out of the elements and less likely to be damaged or stolen. And I did find an answer to the rear 12-volt power adapter staying powered on all the time. And this is probably for the Rams only. I don't know about the other vehicles. But in the fuse box, the fuse can go into one of two positions. One position, the rear 12-volt supply will shut off when you shut the engine off. In the position that it's in now, it will stay powered up even though you shut the engine off. So for the short term, that's fine. We just have to remember to power off the dash cam when we're not going to be using it for some time. The advantage to the hardwiring is that it has a voltage monitor, so in the event that your battery were to start running low, it would shut off at that point. So if you know of a mini to micro adapter, because I think that's what I'm going to need in order to hook these cables up, please let me know. Please leave a comment down below and let me know where I can get one, or even send me a link. I would truly appreciate it. So the video looks nice and clear, and it looks like you do not have to remove the memory card in order to retrieve your images. You can do that in the application on your phone. So the installation is fairly straightforward. The setup of the unit is pretty straightforward as well. The cabling is kind of wonky, maybe simply because you're stuffing, a cable up under your dashboard or your headliner and running it down under your carpeting. So you just have to take your time with that and you'll be fine. So once you connect to your camera, and you do have to enable the Wi-Fi on the camera in order to access the Wi-Fi network. It won't get you onto the internet, of course, but it allows your phone to communicate to the camera. So let's go ahead and go into the camera. And of course, we're in my garage at the moment, and you can see when I'm looking at the front dash of the truck, of course. And I did figure out something that you can go into the maps icon and it will bring up the map and it'll pinpoint your direction. I guess I just didn't give it time when we were driving around last time in order to give that a shot. So anyway, that does work. Let's go in and take a look at the files that's recorded. So these are the recordings, and what I do need to verify is that the looping is long enough. It's set for 5 minutes, and I'll show you where the looping or the settings are in a moment. And I think the settings have to be made on the camera itself and not through the app here. But as you can see, I have the front view and rear view of all these different timestamps. So let's get back out of this and let's go into settings. So we have our sound recording on. So this is recording recording audio from the camera. I do have my resolution set for 1080p, and I have the 5 minutes set for the loop options. I do have my timestamp turned on. The collision sensing, so because we're towing, and I know it can get a little bouncy in the truck, I didn't want it to detect a jolt or something as an incident. So I just set the collision to middle. I have the, of course, miles per hour, English, and my Wi-Fi name and password, which is not much of a password, and how much format I have left, or not format, but how much free space I have on this 32 gig card. So these are the settings, and again, like I said, there's not much to it. You just have to set it for what you want it to be. All right, so getting back out, you can take a picture and you can record video, which we're doing now. So obviously it's paused, and now it would start back up. All right. Okay, let's move on. All right, thanks for sticking around to the end. I hope this has been helpful for you. I do have a coupon code listed in the links below where you can save a little bit of money. I get a little bit of a commission on that. This is our very first one, so we're kind of excited to try this out. So it'll save you a little bit of money. We get a little bit of commission, and everybody should be happy. So far, the thing's been working great. It actually works really well. Sitting back here in the window, I actually like that better, I think. Again, it's not in the elements, and I don't have to worry about it. The only thing I still need some help on is the micro fuse adapter for the RAM. Let me know if there's an adapter for that so I can hook up the hardwire kit. But so far, it's been doing great. All right, talk to you soon.